loves. So I want to talk about getting out of the energy of the problem and empowering yourself to step into the energy of the solution. Okay. And this was kind of prompted by an experience I had the other day, but I'm going to really talk about it from an energetic standpoint. So hopefully it makes sense to you. Okay. And before we get started, I want to let you know that all the details for all the ways to connect with me will be linked in the description box below. I have, and we're going to talk about this, multiple platforms that you can connect with me on for free content. Okay. It's all linked down below. All right. And I also have a lot of beautiful paid offers to help support you. Okay. The email coaching, personal readings, self-paced programs, all the things. So that's all linked down below. And if you're not subscribed yet, I invite you to consider subscribing. That way you're notified every time I put out videos, because I put out videos every single week. Okay. So moving on to this, I want to talk about how energetically, when we're in the energy of the problem, or like really hung up in our victim stories, what it does is it really we block ourselves from all the abundance of help and support that's there. That's always been there, readily available to you. And I'm going to talk about the most common ways I see people doing this, not to shame anyone, not at all, but really just to help you see where you're screwing yourself over and help you take responsibility for how you're holding yourself back, so you can clean it up if you so choose, right? It's your choice all the time. So the way this showed up, and this is actually something that happens to me quite often. I see this with people and I don't take it personally. I don't really get offended. Sometimes I do. It just depends on how blatant it is. I did get a little offended the other day. It's people I write a post either on Facebook, or I put a video on YouTube or TikTok sharing information. And what will happen sometimes is there are people who don't really understand what I'm saying because they have some ways to go, and that's okay. I'm not judging anyone for being where they are. I've been where they are too. The difference is I've led myself through it. I've done the work, and I'm in a position where things are working and I'm in the energy of the solution. Does that make sense? So sometimes people don't understand and they have very valid questions. And then sometimes people are just so in their victim story and in such a lack mentality that they actually come across quite fucking rude and really are just expecting shit for free. So let me give you an example. The other day I made a post on my Facebook. I believe it was my personal page or a group. I don't remember. And someone commented asking for, and it wasn't even asking, she said, list the specific steps. It was very demanding. It was literally so immature and childlike. I was oh my God. It was just I logged into I offload my apps when I'm not using them. So it was a day or two later after the post, I log in and I see it. And it was just a hand to forehead moment for me. I was just no, we're not doing this. It was just so rude. Honestly, my first thought was fuck you, no. And also where's your brain? If you take the time to scroll down my page, you'll find the answers to that question. I show up and share freely and abundantly, graciously from my heart on all of my platforms, not just on Facebook, every single week. There's a link in my bio that has all of the ways you can connect with me. There are paid offers. If you need help, get the help, and I don't know if this person meant to be rude or not. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they must just be in such a lack vibration that they don't even see how they're coming across. But that was an extreme example. This comes across in more subtle ways, and I'm going to share that with you so you can move beyond. A more subtle and sneaky way that I see this happening is, when you're in the energy of the problem instead of the solution, you're constantly looking, scouring all the time for information, but you're never actually sitting, integrating it and implementing it because you don't trust yourself and you're not in the energy of the solution. The energy of the solution is when you take responsibility and you decide to trust yourself enough to actually implement stuff. Another way is if you are at a point in your journey where you don't know how to do that, or you don't trust yourself and you understand that you don't trust yourself and you want and need support, choose to invest in yourself and get the support. I needed to do that in the beginning. I don't need to do it now, but I invested a lot in myself in the beginning and in mentors. Even when it looked like I wasn't getting results, I kept going. It blows my mind how much money I used to spend on so many things in the physical, and I watch other women doing this too, and there's nothing wrong. You know, there's nothing wrong with spending money on physical things. Like, I love that. And I totally, like, I teach on how to align with wealth so you can have money for it all. But if you're in a position where, you know, the money's not flowing as much as you want, like, be honest. Like, would you spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on Botox, fillers, plastic surgery, facials, trying to fix your skin, like clothing, partying, drugs, drinking, like what, you know, traveling, like all these things to try to escape yourself? But are you investing in you? That's a big one. And I can only speak on that because that was me for years. I was trying all of these things to feel better, all of these things to try to be this glorified version of myself. And I still like those things. Oh, not the drugs, but like, you know, the partying. Sometimes I like to go out. I like to buy nice things. I like to get the treatments done, all that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, really be honest. Like, why are you maybe quick to spend on those things, but not to invest in yourself? I'll tell you why. Typically, it's a couple things. Typically, one, it's like on some level, you don't actually value yourself. You value a quick fix, something that's going to make you feel better temporarily, to try to feel like enough, to try to prove yourself, to try to get acceptance from the outside. You maybe lack patience, right? Like, you're just short-sighted. You're not playing the long game with yourself. You're not realizing that you're the best fucking investment you'll ever make. And you're not understanding really probably that you are creating your reality. You might understand it logically, but not actually deeply get it. Because if you did, you would understand that you can create any change you want and that you are the best investment because you're the one generating all of the good and unwanted things in your life, right? Another would be that you don't trust yourself, right? Like, you don't trust that you'll actually get results, right? Like, you don't trust that it would work for you. Maybe you just don't believe in it fully at all. These are some reasons. You know, and I'm not saying you need to invest with me. Like, I'm just saying you need to start investing in you, whether that's your money or your time or your faith. You know, it can be as simple as just making the commitment to yourself to start thinking better thoughts. Like, that really is not fucking hard. Like, that's literally what this is, essentially, like changing your mindset. There's infinite free resources on YouTube. Like, if you really are in a position where you don't have money, like, get serious about, you know, getting your shit together. But if you aren't really sure what your shit is or what your blocks are, or you need support, or you have trauma to clear and you just feel lost, or you feel like you don't stick with things, or you don't know what works, like, that's what paid offers are for, you know, like, but just invest in you. So does this help you? I hope this helps kind of show like the ways we hold ourselves back. And I'm not judging anyone, because I know it might have sounded like I was, but I'm not really, because I've been there. I've been at all different stages, except for the rude ass woman on Facebook. I've been in the space where I held myself back, where I didn't trust myself to invest in myself. I've been in the space where I just kind of like avoided things and didn't actually buckle down and do the work because deep down I didn't believe, or I had like worthiness things. Like, I've done that, but I've never, ever been rude like that to someone and like totally disrespecting their work and their time. Like, no, I've never done that. And I guess because on some level I've always been self-led. I've always taken some sort of responsibility. Super loud in the background. I avoided responsibility in the sense of like not really understanding in the beginning that it was me really creating my reality. But I would never like ask someone for it for free, especially not someone who like gives and gives and gives. I don't know. I'm going to wrap up here. I think I made my point. But, you know, it's Mercury retrograde right now, and it's a great time to get honest with yourself about how you're holding yourself back if you're serious about moving forward. You know, I always say this too, like, if you're not actually serious about moving forward, that's okay. Just own it. You know, there have been times in my life where there were things that I knew needed to change, and I stayed kind of like in this really uncomfortable space of like researching it, like wanting it, but like not actually putting the time in, not actually doing the inner alignment work for it. And I actually, if I was honest, wasn't willing or in a position to give certain things up. And, you know, I, at the end of the day, had to be like, okay, maybe I just need to be honest that I'm not ready to change this yet. And that's okay. Maybe I could stop judging myself for it. You know, like, don't keep yourself in that limbo. That's a really painful place to be with a ton of split energy. You know, make a decision one way or another. I'm assuming if you're following me and you found this, that you're someone who likes to take initiative and you're someone who's ready to change. So I'm just encouraging you to start investing in you. Take a look at like what BS is holding you back, or where are you in the energy of the problem instead of the solution, because you are always the solution. You are. It's always a process. And it depends on you, really, like how quick and easy you let it be. There's certain things that feel like they take longer to overcome. There's certain things that, you know, we can't predict when you'll get results. But the thing is, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know, like for me, with certain things in my life and certain goals, it was like sometimes I wasn't motivated to start because I was just thinking, I feel so behind. I feel like it's going to take so much work. But the thing is, you never actually know that. You never actually know. It's never really a matter of time. It's a matter of alignment. And what I would tell myself to kind of help get my human side behind it was I would be like, okay, Hannah, you're right. You don't know. It could take years. If it was going to take 5 years to manifest this one goal, wouldn't you certainly want to start now? So you're like getting a step closer every single day. That's just kind of how I would look at it. So I hope this motivated you. I hope it inspired you. I hope you learned something. I hope you ask yourself a tough question. And as always, I'm here to support you. Like we talked about, everything's linked in the description box below, or if you're watching on Instagram, it's linked in my bio. There's my link tree. It has everything, all the free resources, all the paid offers, my products, my Etsy, all the things, all the ways to connect. So I'm sending you love, beautiful soul. Have a beautiful day, and I'll connect with you soon.